All right, guys, we are back. And at this point, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, and that's stipulations. So I'm going to go back through the same project that we've been working on when we did the application, when we did the finance docs, and now we're going to talk about the stipulations. So this is the project over here at the top. I'm just going to click here in this window to open up the project like we did before. We can see that we've got all of our green check marks, which is what we want to see. We see that the finance agreement is signed. That's what we did earlier. So now let's move over to stipulations. So stipulations are things that can come up on projects randomly, depending on the customer, depending on DTI, depending on credit. There's a lot of different variations which can trigger one of these. So we can see on this project, proof of income is not required. But I do want to talk a little bit about proof of income, what that looks like, what we require on our end. I've had the chance to talk with a lot of different banks and fintech companies, and it seems like there really isn't a standard around proof of income, and some people require different things versus some other people. So that's a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how we do it over here at Dividend. So basically, when you get a stipulation, you are able to upload those documents directly into the portal. An underwriter does need to review any stipulations that you upload. So that's where you would be putting them, is directly inside the finance portal where you ran the initial application. These buttons would be clickable, where then you can then drag and drop the particular stipulation document inside there, and then you'd be able to submit it through. So let's talk about the first one, proof of income. Proof of income, we do make it easy by having a little information tab where you can actually open up a downloadable guide, which will really give you insight as to what proof of income means and what documents we need to collect from the customer. So we look at it at a couple of different categories. One is the wage earner. The wage earner is going to be your person like myself that works for a company and gets a paycheck and is either paid salary or hourly. That's where we can just get a recent pay stub that's dated within 30 days that just has their year to date income on there. It does need to show their name and it does need to have year to date income. And a lot of times you can easily access this from your HR portal or just by contacting HR, the company that you work for. This is really just for you to educate the customer if they're not aware of how to get a pay stub, since most people get direct deposit today. If they are self-employed, this is basically the customer is self-employed, has their own business, is a business owner, and basically we need to find a way to prove his income. For these particular customers, we do need to have a full tax return. That's the easiest way to get that to validate, with a copy of a bank statement no older than 30 days. So full tax return from the year prior, and then one bank statement no older than 30 days, just so that we can verify the depositories that are kind of working through his 1040s on his tax return. You also have retired customers, so this could be anyone that gets Social Security money, or could be a veteran that gets money from the VA. This is where you can collect certain documents to show satisfactory proof of income. And these are pretty easy to clear up once you get like an award letter or a letter from the Social Security Administration. So a lot of times, if you have retired individuals or individuals getting any sort of disability, they have some sort of document that shows the income that they get. So if you have any questions about what you should get from your customer, depending on your specific customer situation, again, click on the guide. That'll help you understand what those are. And when you get to there, you'll be able to submit the proof of income directly in the portal. And just one quick reminder, where you get that proof of income, there's that big I. And if you click that, it'll open up the proof of income window that you can just click on to get to that document. So that's proof of income. Now let's talk about proof of ownership. Here at Dividend, you have to be a homeowner in order to get a loan with Dividend. So if you get stipped for proof of ownership, there's usually a reasoning because there's no active mortgage showing up on the customer's credit, which is okay. Sometimes this happens. So in these cases, the way that you prove your ownership is with a variety of different documents. If the customer just purchased the home, we can accept the closing addendum. That's the paperwork they sign when the closing, whenever they take over and become the legal owners of the property. So we can use that. If the company or the customer is actively paying a mortgage on the house, just a copy of the mortgage statement will suffice. A copy of the customer's homeowner's insurance would be fine. We just need one of those documents that has the customer's name listed on it, and we can use that to satisfy the proof of ownership step. A lot of times you will only see this if, like I mentioned before, if the mortgage is not showing on the customer's credit. Sometimes homes can be paid off too, and we can also accept a deed of ownership as well. So proof of ownership, very easy step to clear, validating that the customer actually does own the home. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is the KYC identity verification. This is going to come up for some partners in the future. And if you're watching this probably 2 months from when I did this video, it's implemented company-wide. So a KYC identity verification, this is where the customer just needs to answer some basic questions about themselves that are particular to their credit bureau, to their credit portfolio, where they would have to just answer the validating questions that basically confirms their identity. They are who they say they are. This is their social, which just is a little extra level of security just to ensure there's no fraud being done. Easiest way to do that, email it to your customer. They'll have to text a couple prompts on their phone, but they can get through it in just about 1 minute, which makes it a super easy process. Outside of that, that's really all you need to worry about when it comes to stipulations. And we're going to move on to the next segment for completion certificates. See you guys then.